Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Raphael Duke Page Guide channel. It is I, Raphael Duke. Who else would it be? Back here once again to give you guys a quick video and talk about last night's Monday Night Raw. Now, WWE has sort of been in a ratings downfall, arguably for a long, long time, and I know a lot of TV things still take ratings seriously. I know a lot of fans still take ratings seriously as well, down to the point of basically judging a quality by a show just by the ratings it gets or the viewership. Um, but I'm not gonna get into that. So Raw, which was taped last night's Raw, which was taped during the Monday afternoon, and next week's Raw, which was also taped yesterday. There was reports that were coming out. I was at work at the time that uh, the feeling backstage was one of chaos. Vince McMahon was being very volatile. It feels like there's a lot of pressure going around because as much as WWE feels that they're doing something good, um, the ratings, the fan support for it isn't as there as they think as it should. And there was my apologies. There were reports saying that WWE was to the point where they're just throwing shit against the wall and hoping that it would stick, which is why they did which is why they went to the Raw Underground stuff. So, listen, as an MMA fan and a WWE fan, I can appreciate when sort of those two worlds, intersect in the sort of like shoot fight style that I know Josh Barnett's Bloodsport does a lot, which is sort of like a shoot fake fight mixed with wrestling stuff that is very popular on the independent scene. A lot of people compared it to that. Now, on the base of it, having Shane come back for that is a little bit weird, considering that the last time we saw Shane, he was fired. So is this like sort of his underground thing that he was running to sort of keep himself in the green, if you will, because he was fired from WWE? Or was it, just we need someone to run this, so let's just throw Shane in? And they had these shoot fights with one of the Viking Raiders, Eric, and Ziggler got in one. Also, former NXT guy Baba Tunde officially debuted as Daka Bobo. I got no idea. Like this Baba Tunde guy, we first saw him at the Greatest Royal Rumble because the Prince wanted Yokozuna, but since Yokozuna had passed away a while back, um, instead they went and got this guy, this Babatunde guy, to sort of be the Yokozuna replacement, if you will. And that's just a whole other thing for another day. And of course, the whole underground segment just sort of ended with the new MVP's new stable called the Hurt Business, that being MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin sort of taking it over. Now, from what I saw, in certain type of execution, it's okay. I mean, it was sort of done to be like it says, the underground style. It was like real fights. You had like this group of guys that were a little bit more like punks, and they were an underground style. You had like the girls dancing and all that, which is hilarious because a lot of people were complaining about that because hashtag women's evolution, you have women dancing. Like, I'm sorry, strip clubs are still a thing. Um, as for the Hurt Business group getting involved, I thought that was a little bit weird. I would have preferred maybe if something else happened to it, just keep it going. Maybe do your own storylines there. Maybe getting the Hurt Business involved in that is gonna be interesting. It's so weird calling them the Hurt Business because I called them the other day WWE's version of the Beatdown Clan from Impact. So to see that trio sort of take it over could lead to something interesting. It's really hard to be optimistic about Monday Night Raw. I've been very disconnected from it. Like, I still haven't watched a Raw SmackDown since Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules was the first show I watched since, like I've said, the Raw where Becky Lynch, I watched that, and I watched a SmackDown after it of when Becky, relinquished her title. I didn't watch. I didn't watch Backlash. I haven't watched an AEW show since then, and I sort of want to get back into wrestling, but I want to get back into it to trying to enjoy more. I feel like to a certain extent you watch it, like almost as a critic, and I want to sort of get away from that. Just watch it for what it is, for what I used to watch when I was younger. Professional wrestling, to be entertained, as you might say. Um, Now there was also this rumor about this trio or this new group that was going to debut, and basically all they had them do was attack like this power generator with Molotov cocktails and whatnot. There was four people. It's sort of obvious the first group people would think of is the Undisputed Era. I mean, all the guys don't have belts anymore in NXT. Now maybe they're heading into a feud with Imperium coming up. I think Riley and Fish are fighting for the tag belts tomorrow on NXT. So I don't know where they'll actually, what exactly they'll be going with that. Where exactly they're gonna be going with that group. They could be a possibility. And they were saying like this group was gonna change WWE and was gonna cause chaos and stuff. So and then the report came out today that WWE's social media team jumped the gun on it when the reports came out because dirt sheets gotta get clicked somehow, so they report wrestling stuff. And they reported that, and supposedly it was said that the WWE social team jumped the gun to sort of react to the news when they should have just kept it quiet. So a lot of shit going on backstage at WWE. Seems to be a lot of pressure on people. It seems, I'll be honest, from a standpoint, I feel like Raw has sort of lost a little bit of its coolness. Heyman left. I thought Heyman was doing a really good job. Pritchard was doing his thing on SmackDown, which I thought was okay for a 2-hour show. But then you take Pritchard's style of like wrestling and shove it on Raw. You get a lot of this. Pritchard usually works for 2-hour shows. He gets a 3-hour show, you're gonna get a lot of filler. And Pritchard's filler is usually always gonna be comedy. Arguably the Otis and Mandy storyline was sort of that filler of comedy. Now on Raw you have like the 24/7 sketches. Also, the fact that Bayley and Sasha have been running roughshod over both shows, sort of. I guess the word would be pissed me off because Vince comes out and says supposedly to the locker room, "We need to create new stars." So how do you create new stars? You just use your same women's stars from Raw, from SmackDown, bring them over to Raw, shove all the belts on them, and thank you, good night, have a great day. WWE is in a bad rut right now, and I don't think they're gonna get out of it. I think the rosters is getting more and more depleted. They just got like Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville back because they were gone on some sort of vacation. Natty's not been on TV for a while. She was supposedly scheduled for a push to face Asuka at SummerSlam. Now they seem to go somewhere with Shayna. Now Nia got like this whole suspension thing where Nia's gonna be like this rampant figure. Can anyone confront and control Nia? Which I got a feeling could maybe debut someone new on Raw. If I would have to guess anyone, I'd guess Rhea Ripley, depending on the result of her match on Wednesday. Raw seems to be, to me, honestly, Raw has been, has lost a lot of its luster. It's hard to get back into it as a fan, even just, like I work Mondays, and when I get home, I only feel like watching Raw. I usually go to bed before Raw. I then wake up more to like in the middle of the night. I check what happened on Raw. I'm like, okay, thank you. I might watch a few clips and I feel there's anything necessary. And then I just move on and go back to bed. So there's, I haven't felt like Raw had anything really special these last few days. Even these last few months. And hopefully this will change. Maybe, having more people on the roster back will change. Hopefully, whenever this pandemic thing starts to slow down. And as much as I hope it starts soon, it's not looking like it. Even AEW, I feel like has sort of been, stretching for, how can I say this? They seem to be like sort of grasping at straws as well. Like they have this Deadly Draw women's tag team tournament of like, which was obviously done just to build up the Nightmare Sisters of Brandy and Allie, which this is nothing personal against Allie. I really couldn't give a fuck about Brandy. And they have like new talent, like the former Cameron is in. Now they got Tainara Conti from NXT, who's now in this thing. It seems like even AEW, like even AEW, I've questioned some of their things they've done lately, and I understand this whole situation can't be easy on everyone. You're working with depleted rosters, depleted audiences. Viewership has been across the board for wrestling. So I know the easy thing is always to just blame the product, but I also think it's just a question of the thing is that you get sports back like hockey, basketball, baseball all have come back, and that those were gone for such a long time. That's why people are rewatching it. Wrestling kept running throughout the pandemic. Like WWE never missed a step. AEW never missed a step as well. They kept going. AEW filmed from Georgia. Now they're in Jacksonville. WWE went straight to Orlando after their last Raw, which I think was in DC. And now for SummerSlam, they're saying that they're probably going to move to Atlantic City to do the show because Vince wants to get the fuck out of Florida. Hearing what I'm hearing about that virus, I don't blame him. So yeah, I know the Raw Underground stuff and Raw was very polarizing. I'm willing to give it a chance. I am afraid that this is gonna be like a one-time thing, and the negative reaction that's gonna get is gonna act, I think, completely, and we're not gonna see anything else besides maybe next week, and then that's it. It just disappears again. Because it does feel like something that was quickly put together, thrown against the wall, and hopefully would stick. I really don't think it helped viewership like at all. If it did, Jesus Christ, but I don't think it did. And I don't think it will. But, they're willing to go in different ways. At this point, you can be critical of WWE as much as you want, but you also have to, sort of understand what kind of situation they're in. If you're going to have this sort of understanding with companies like Impact or AEW, you should sort of have that with WWE's, and I'm having that with AEW and Impact, so I'm trying to give WWE the same sort of leeway right now. Anyways, leave your thoughts down below. What did you think of the whole Raw Underground stuff from last Monday? Your thoughts on the state of WWE in general since the departure of Paul Heyman from his role. And first time I filmed like in my room here, sitting in my chair. Figured I'd do something different. So just, filming with me holding the phone and switching arms every 5 seconds because my arm gets tired. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe.